A habitual criminal and Crewe paedophile, Lewis Gleave, who physically and sexually abused multiple women, threatened one with a firearm, and engaged in sexual conversations with a minor, has been incarcerated. Lewis Gleave was sentenced at Chester Crown Court on Friday, the 5th of September, to 4 years of imprisonment, followed by an additional 3 years under a prison license, concerning 3 distinct investigations. The sentencing follows the 21-year-old's guilty plea to 3 charges of assault by beating, 2 counts of sexual assault, possession of an imitation firearm with intent, possession of an imitation firearm while conducting a Schedule I offence, and inflicting actual bodily damage. Lewis Gleave was convicted of 2 charges of sexual assault and of engaging in sexual communication with a minor during a prior hearing. The initial incident transpired on Monday, the 12th of August, 2024, when Lewis Gleave was at Sandbach Park with 4 companions and commenced making improper and sexualised remarks directed at a 17-year-old female present with them. His conduct towards the girl intensified when he attempted to embrace her without her consent and subsequently slapped her posterior. The girl and a 19-year-old guy in the group confronted Lewis Gleave about his actions, prompting Lewis Gleave to kick the man to the ground and assault him, alleging that the man fabricated claims of inappropriate contact with the girl. Later following week, on Friday, August 17, the same group was in the park again when Lewis Gleave was reported to have appeared unexpectedly and approached them. He once more struck the behind of the same girl he had previously touched earlier in the week. He forcibly seized her head as she was seated on a bench and compelled it towards his groin without her consent. Lewis Gleave assaulted the same 19-year-old male as before, striking him to the ground and insisting that he engage in combat. The man declined, and Lewis Gleave exited the vicinity. He was apprehended shortly thereafter following a report to Cheshire police. Several weeks later, on Sunday, September 1st, Lewis Gleave communicated with a 13-year-old girl using Snapchat and FaceTime. During the conversation with the girl, Lewis Gleave commenced inquiring about sexual topics and disclosed information regarding sexual acts. An adjacent adult overheard portions of the talk. During police interrogation over this matter, he acknowledged having conversed with the girl, since he had known her in his youth, but refuted any claims that the conversation was sexual in nature. On the evening of Friday, September 27, while still under investigation for prior charges, Lewis Gleave confronted a 27-year-old individual near the Victoria Centre in Crewe and inquired whether they had been threatening a friend of his. During this interaction, the victim observed that Lewis Gleave possessed what seemed to be a firearm in a holster beneath the high-visibility jacket he was wearing and explicitly remarked that he was carrying, indicating he was equipped with a pistol. It was, indeed, a BB gun. Investigations in the vicinity found that this transaction had been recorded on CCTV, with an officer recognizing Lewis Gleave by a tattoo on his neck. 3 days later, Cheshire police were notified by an employee at a supported accommodation facility for youth in Crewe, who stated that Lewis Gleave had unlawfully entered the premises and perpetrated physical and sexual assaults on a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old woman. Lewis Gleave had pulled one victim across the room and strangled the other, ceasing only when the boyfriend of one of the victims arrived at the location. Subsequent to these revelations, Lewis Gleave was apprehended on the same day and interrogated at Middlewich custody by law enforcement officials. He refuted any misconduct concerning the previously listed charges until his court appearance, ultimately pleading guilty to 3 counts of assault by beating, 2 counts of sexual assault, causing actual bodily harm, and possession of an imitation handgun. In addition to his custodial sentence, Lewis Gleave has received a sexual harm prevention order, 5 restraining orders, and is required to register as a sex offender.